Okay, this video is going to be in two parts, and it deals with changing the bushings on a leaf spring on my 1997 Nissan truck. Now I'm doing this more to show the YouTube community that I am for myself, really, because there's a lot of people who have a lot of issues with these bushings and such, because this bushing issue could happen on a lot more models than just this Nissan truck. Anyway, I remove it, including the steel sleeve that so many people have a problem getting out. And I'm going to have a video on that. The four on the back end, you got two on each side that does the pivot movement for when the spring hits. And then the front is a single. Well, the two on the back is going to be in the same video on each side, which I'll probably put one side in the video. But the second part of the video will not only show the back going back together and the front ones being did, but it's also going to show an alignment issue with the springs. So this truck got hit by the side before I owned it, and it shifted the springs over. I didn't know that until I started looking at these bushings, and I run up on that, and I'll show a little bit about straightening up the springs as well if your springs get shifted out. So that'll be in the second video. Thank you. Okay, if you're doing this, here's the rear end. Remember, anything that's connected to it, like that spring, the brake lines, the shocks, you want to take all that off. Now, in my case, I'm not trying to drop the whole thing down. See, I've got the tire down. It's only about an inch off the ground. I'm going to let this drop and try to work it out. And that way the shock is still holding it. It won't be enough slack used up to bind them up. I might end up doing both sides of this. If it gets too much, I may end up taking the brake lines loose then and the shock to give me more wiggle room, but we're going to try it this way first. So here we go. And you can see, if you really look, the damage up in there right now, right in here. It's a mess. See it? See all the play? Things are shot, buddy, shot. They've been shot for a while. So, take my air wrench to it. Well, this is likely to try to walk up in the air there. Let's see. There you go. Coming right off now. Coming right off. Alright, let's get this one. That's what happens when you get a extension on the job. A pull bar. We'll go back to this air wrench, which was supposed to have got it in the first place. That did not. Okay, now let's get rid of that air wrench. Let's get rid of that. See if this thing's going to work out of there now. See how it's kind of stayed in place? That's why I put it the way I did it. Or I could move it. what I was talking about. You could have just left it on the ground a little bit, but I wanted wiggle room for when we had the other side. That's why I lifted it off the ground about. Now see how it's wore all down into there? It was gonna start eating on the metal. This one's shot, look at that, just come right out, just shot. Look at that, push out my finger. Okay, first I'm gonna try to get this off. Don't surprise me if it tries to stay on there. And it just turned a little bit, but whether it keeps turning is a different story. Because it can clamp down on itself when you're trying to move it. Okay, got it to turn. And we want this one off because, well, we got another one to put in its place. Alright, spray this thing with some WD-40. Alright, so we've got it turning. Alright, so that's that. Now, our other problem is all this chewed up stuff in here. Now you could just buy another one of these, but for the sake of this video I'm going to show a different way of doing it. We're going to try to fill that in, because if you leave that there, that roughness, it's going to chew the next bushing up. It's going to act as a real heavy sandpaper, just chew it up. So we're going to fill that in with some liquid metal or something like that, but we got to clean it up first. So here we go to cleaning up process. Let me put you around here. Okay, now I'm wearing safety glasses. You gotta have it clean if you want that epoxy or liquid metal or whatever to bond to it. You've gotta be clean. I'm gonna end up taking this whole metal sleeve out probably, but I'm gonna check on this rubber, see how hard it comes out. Hard it is to get out, I should say. This is more curiosity than anything. Yeah, see, it's glued to it, which means it was once part of it. It's not an insert, it was part of it. So when this thing was originally made, this is all one unit, so to speak. Now I'm going to have to take this sleeve out to put the new ones in there, and it won't have the metal sleeve around it anymore. It'll just have a rubber bushing. Anyway, I'm still tinkering with it here. This is an unnecessary part of the video. This is more curiosity on my part than anything. You can skip it. So why am I doing it? Well, I want to check the wear first of all. But Excuse me. I'm actually being attacked over here by a butterfly, of all things. Yeah, see it eat all the way through. That's what I wanted to see. That lets me know how much wear is on here. Okay, supposedly that's cut it, but I'm going to cut it in another spot. So that it'll have a give area. Alright, now get up under here and look. Looking pretty good. Try a little bit more. Alright, so we've got that. Now, let's take a little screwdriver and we're going to try to do a little bit of hammering on it right in this little lip here. Let me move the camera back where you can see what's going on a little bit better. Okay, let me get it up under there a little bit better. Now remember we cut a second spot, so this side can give now. Which is, of course, exactly what we wanted it to do. Now, let me go get a bigger screwdriver, one that means business a little more than this one did. Alright. Okay. The screwdriver right here has a little more giddy up and go. Man, that screwdriver's a cheapo. But I already knew that. So I'm not surprised by that at all. Alright. Okay. Looks like it didn't cut all the way through. Down in there somewhere. That's okay. That's okay. We'll cut some more in it. How about that? I don't want to cut it any more than that. Well, look at that. A piece of metal everywhere. That's why I didn't want to cut it any more than that right there. Because some of it was actually releasing already. Need to get my bigger chisel thing, but let's see what we got on the back side here. Back side is coming out. I'll give you a look. There's the back side coming out right here. So I'm
I'm going to try to put it at an angle you can see both sides going on at the same time. I'm going to try to get my big old screwdriver. Be right back. Alright, here's my big screwdriver. It'll get it. It'll get it when nothing else will get it. It don't play around. I don't see why it's so hard to get out of there. Obviously the thing is tore loose. It's coming all out like that, you know it's loose. Yeah, it just wants to be a pain. That's all it is. It just wants to be a pain. There's half of it. Okay. Now, I'm going to try to get the other part. See how much I chewed into the actual body. I really didn't want to chew into the body of it, but looks like I did. Okay, I'm gonna cut with the saw some more, but this one isn't to cut through it all. This one is just a pressure break, so to speak. So here we go. Alright, like I say, that one wasn't meant to go all the way through or anything. It's solely for the purpose of relieving some stress off of it whenever we're poking at it here. We can get up in here. See, and make it release like this. See it? Then we should be able to come up to the top and make it release down and come out. There we are. Just push it out the other side. Here, let me reposition the camera. Just push it out the other side now. Alright, there she is.